In this exercise, we are going to start with this sketch of this bunny, and in the end, we will get this illustration. File, place, exercise 15, check template. I'm gonna zoom a little bit. Gonna choose the pen tool, set the fill to none, set the stroke weight to 10 points, and I'm gonna start drawing. Gonna start from here, click 1 point there, gonna go here and click and drag to the right like this. Gonna put the cursor right here and click and drag down like this. Now I'm gonna click here, anchor, click and drag. No, this is not a good curve. Control Z, go back. Gonna put the cursor right here, click and drag like this. Let go. And now I'm gonna come here and make one click. I'm gonna press escape. Gonna go back to this point. I'm gonna click here and continue the path. Click and drag like this and place the cursor here, click and drag like this. Now I'm gonna press escape. I'm gonna zoom some more. I'm gonna create a new path, 1 point here. I'm gonna click and drag to the right, create a curve like this. And I'm gonna create a curve like this and press escape. Now I'm gonna press Control, click on this path, and I'm gonna make it a little bit closer like this. Now they touch. Gonna zoom out. I'm gonna build the ears now. Click here, click and drag. Make sure the handles are like this. And now gonna put the cursor here, click and drag like this. Now gonna put the cursor right here, click and drag like this. Now gonna end the path right here, click and drag and get a curve like this. I'm gonna press escape. I'm gonna zoom some more. Click here, click and drag. Click and drag like this. Click and drag like this. And now I'm gonna click and drag a little bit and get a curve like this. I can now press escape. Direct selection tool. I can modify a few things if I want. Selection tool. I'm gonna select the first ear and I'm gonna duplicate it, Alt, duplicate it, right click, transform, reflect, vertical, and click OK. Now I'm gonna put the other ear right here. I'm gonna click on direct selection tool and I'm gonna make a few modifications. gonna click on this point, I'm gonna take it here. Click on this point, I'm gonna take it here, and play around with the handles like this. Click on this point, gonna take it here. This point, I'm gonna take it here. Gonna move the handles a little bit like this. I'm gonna click on this part. Gonna take this point right here. Gonna take this point right here. And move the handle just like this. And now the lines match the sketch. Gonna click on this point with the down arrow. I'm gonna make it like this. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the pen tool and continue the drawing. Gonna put one point here, click and drag like this, anchor, and then click and drag here. Now we have the mouth, escape, select, deselect. Now the teeth. Gonna zoom some more, click, 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 escape. I'm gonna click here and click here, escape. I'm gonna click and drag to the right like this, click and drag down, click and drag to the left like this, click and drag up, and now I can go ahead and connect. If I need to make some adjustments, I can press Ctrl, access the direct selection tool, and make some changes if I want to. Okay, I'm gonna draw these lines, escape, 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 go to the other side, escape, escape, escape. Now I'm gonna draw the eyes. I'm gonna start from here, click, click and drag, curve like this, escape, select, deselect. Gonna go here, click, click and drag like this, click and drag like this, click and drag like this, and one last point here, escape. Now the inside of the eye, click here, click and drag like this, click and drag like this, click and drag like this, and one last point like this. I'm gonna swap fill and stroke and get this result. Now I'm gonna select the eye, Alt and duplicate, right click, transform, reflect vertical of course, and click OK. I'm gonna place the other eye right here. Now direct selection tool, I'm gonna click here and change the position of this point. Gonna click here, change the position of this point. Gonna click here, put this point right here, and change a little bit the handles. I'm gonna put this point right here, move the handles a little bit like this. I'm gonna move to the left. Now it matches the sketch. Now this part, gonna put it in the right place like this, and gonna move the points a little bit. Gonna move this handle up, this handle a little bit up like this, and I think this looks fine. I think this looks fine. Okay, now go back to pen tool, one point here, and click and drag here. Swap fill and stroke. I'm gonna delete it and do it again. Stroke, I'm gonna set this to 10. Click and drag like this. Make a line like this. Click here, click and drag, and make a line like this. Now V, selection tool, I'm gonna select both of them, and I'm gonna change the width profile. By default it's set to uniform. I'm gonna set it to this width profile. Notice how the shape changed, how the line changed. Now I'm gonna increase the stroke up to 40 like this, and we get this type of shape. I'm gonna select both of these lines, and I'm gonna choose another width profile, this one. I'm gonna select these lines, shift, select these lines, and I'm gonna change the width profile to this, and I'm gonna change the stroke weight to 5, and I'm gonna click on this. Gonna change the width profile to this, width profile 3, and I'm gonna do the same thing with this line. Click and width profile 3, same thing. Now I'm gonna click on the nose and swap fill and stroke. Now we're done with the drawing part. We can start coloring. I'm gonna open the layers window. I'm gonna unsee the template, hide the template like this. Double click on layer 1. I'm gonna name it lines. New layer. I'm gonna put it underneath it, and I'm gonna name it colors. Enter, and I'm gonna lock the lines layer. That way, during the coloring phase, during the coloring part, we're not gonna touch, we're not gonna modify anything. I need to zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna click on the blob brush tool. I'm gonna select the color pink. I'm gonna double click on the color, make sure I press S, and I'm gonna choose a light shade of pink like this, and then click OK. Double click on the blob brush tool, and I'm gonna increase the size to, let's say, 120 or even more, 160, and I'm gonna start drawing like this. Make sure you don't go beyond the lines and paint like this. double click. I'm gonna reduce the size now to, let's say, 40. I'm gonna zoom and cover and color all the remaining area like this with precision. Gonna move to the other ear and paint like this. Okay, obviously we have a problem here. Direct selection tool. I'm gonna unlock the lines layer. Gonna click on this point and correct this. Now I'm gonna lock the layers and go back to colors layers. Go back to blob brush tool. Okay, now eyedropper tool. Gonna select the same color again and continue drawing. Okay, now we're done with this color. Gonna switch to the white color and paint this area. Like this. Now the other eye. Now I'm gonna go back to the ears. Gonna select this color. Double click. I'm gonna make the brush bigger, 100 points, and paint like this as much as I can. Like this. Gonna go to the other. Paint like this. Double click. I'm gonna reduce the size now to, let's say, 40. Gonna zoom and color the remaining parts. Move to the other ear and cover the remaining area. Gonna do the same thing I did earlier. Gonna unlock the lines layer. Gonna click on this path and I'm gonna put the point right here, slight change, like this. I have to do the teeth now. I forgot that part. Gonna color the teeth. Gonna lock the lines, go back to the colors layer, blow brush tool, choose white, and color this part like this. And now the exercise is finished. You go do the same and don't forget to save.